Good evening, everybody. Um, Mr. Verma, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
We'll wait for some time. Let the other viewers just join in. If
Sure,
you
sir.
can
Sure.
wait
Sure,
for
sure.
another minute or two.
Sure, sure.
And good evening, Mr. Bumesh.
Hi,
Good evening.
Sunil. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Razi, for the warm welcome.
Yes, we see some more participants joining in, trickling in actually. We have our 27 right now. Let's wait for a minute or two.
Yes, sir. We'll wait for a minute or two, as you said, and we'll just wait for the other members. I think, sir, we should start. It's 5:03. Right, sir. Okay, so good evening, everybody. This is the Corporate Legal. I am your host and moderator for the day, Rajdeep Lahiri. And today we have a very esteemed, rather busy professional, and we personally consider himself to be the demigod on contracts, on any kinds of contracts, deliberations, and any like agreements in India. We have with us Bumesh Verma, one of the few people in the country of India where all the law firms, professionals, and corporate bodies alike go to him for his advice and his take on various agreements and contracts. And today we're going to be speaking on mergers and acquisitions in the post and the pre-COVID era, and his take on how this entire era is going to treat us with respect to the entire world of mergers and acquisitions. Thank you, sir, for coming to our webinar, coming to our show. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Rajdeep. A very warm welcome in this scorching heat to all of you. It's, I think, one of the most warm days of the year, yesterday and today. We see a few more participants trickling in. Well, the theme of today's discussion is mergers and acquisitions in post-COVID era, the opportunities and challenges. We are living in very unprecedented and unusual times. Never in our lives did we ever think such a situation will ever come. You know, it's like a black swan event, as merchant bankers and all other market intermediaries, the biggies speak, the market players. So we will discuss the adversities, the opportunities, and the challenges, and maybe how to overcome some of these challenges what is the government doing to overcome these challenges, and so on and so forth. And we will also welcome any comments and suggestions from the participants in the chat room. Rajdeep, you may please process. And I mean, if there is something we need to respond to, maybe we can take questions at the end of the discussion as well. Now, do we have this session for 40 minutes and have to re-log in after 40 minutes, or will this continue?
No, we'll have the session for, so per session is 40 minutes, and using the same
Okay.
login ID and password, participants can again re-log in. Yes.
Okay, right. So participants may please note, Radhi, you may also text this
I
in
will
the
do that.
chat. So
I am
that,
doing that.
yes. So it'll be easy and convenient for the participants to know that if we get disconnected after 40 minutes, we re-log in with the same credentials. Right. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Start.
Right. So we talk about mergers and acquisitions in post-COVID-19 era. I don't take chances with the host not introducing me. So I keep this slide in all my presentations. Rajdeep has introduced me, but this is some information about me, which you may find useful. So this is who I am, and this is what I do. We have a network of like-minded friends in the corporate legal, which is hosting this discussion today. Besides this, I am the convener of Global Business Lawyers League, a global network of boutique law firms. And I have also convened a network of Indian lawyers, law students, and academics by the name of the Indian Lawyers League. May I request all the participants to mute their mics because I'm getting echo. So whenever someone needs to speak, you can mute yourself, or maybe you could request Rajdeep to unmute you. All right.
I
So
have
this
muted
is
everybody,
about,
so it's automatically muted.
thank you. Thanks, Rajdeep. Now, as we were discussing earlier, COVID-19 has been an unprecedented, unpredicted, yet unavoidable, what we call force majeure in legal terminology, kind of event. Touch wood, it should be one-off event in our lives. No one wants to see these days again. I think majority of us, because no one, no business, no economy, no country, no religion, no individual is immune or unaffected. Whether you are big, you are small, you are individual practitioner, you are a multi-billion industry, everyone is affected. And the event is likely to have everlasting impact on our lifestyle and the way we have to conduct our business. Now, what are the implications on mergers and acquisitions? These activities are backbone for any business for inorganic growth, and thereby culminating in growth of the national economy as well. Mergers and acquisitions assist businesses in leveraging their full potential by acquiring entities operating in the same ecosystem or expanding into new lines of business. For professionals, particularly corporate lawyers, accountants, merchant bankers, investment bankers, valuers, and so many other businesses, M&A are bread, butter, and Mercedes, as we call it. Not only bread and butter, but Samirji, your Mercs and Porsches and all these also come through M&As only, right?
Yeah, I
Otherwise,
mean, if I can put it in a hierarchy, definitely bread and butter. And of course, for some people, yes, even Lamborghinis.
right, right. So this is the core business of so many professions. And last, I guess, 30 odd years since Indian economy was liberalized in 1991, M&A have played a very big role in enhancing the country's, image as an investor-friendly nation, economic growth, job opportunities, GDP growth, and so on and so forth. I mean, so the importance of mergers and acquisitions in any economy cannot be overemphasized ever. They are very important and intrinsic to any country's growth from all angles. If we were to go back like 3 months back, 2020 was expected to be the best year so far as M&A were concerned. There was an upswing, as merchant bankers call it. Indian economy was undergoing, I mean, we call 5% growth as a recession because we have become used to 7%, 8% growth. Otherwise, nowhere else in the world, economies were growing even at 5%. Government had become very cognizant of the state of the economy and slowly had started implementing some measures for an uptick. And it was thought that Indian economy has bottomed out. Now there can be no, further going down. We could see an upswing by, the measures adopted in the union budget on February 1. We saw immense potential for domestic investment as well as FDI, because India, I guess, is one of the most attractive FDI destinations in the world. FDI has been increasing by leaps and bounds every year progressively for last so many years. Government has undertaken a path to liberalization consistently, and it was expected that FDI would always keep growing. Startups also, there was a cloud about angel tax and so on and so forth. Government had started alleviating those fears as well, taken corrective measures to allay investors' fears. Tax rates were being reduced since last year to bring them in, conformity or almost at equal rate compared to other developed economies, so as to encourage investments and so on and so forth. Labor laws rationalization was also taking place so as to project an investor-friendly image for India, not only for domestic investors, but also for FDI. So all this was happening before COVID-19 happened. Then COVID-19 happened. Our priorities changed overnight. Today, most of us at an individual level or even at a business level are scared about survival, getting alive out of this tragedy. That is the first priority. That's the first thing everyone is thinking right now, that the virus should not catch me and we should get all alive, safe and sound out of this. That is the first priority. So all investment plans, all even normal business activities have been put on hold. There have been extensive lockdowns. I think it's 2 months plus today, if we are to talk. And there is talk of, even 2 weeks extension of the lockdown after May 31st. This lockdown may be extended nationwide or it could be there in pockets. But we are not coming back to normal business very soon, that is for sure. So in these troubled times, what becomes your priority is save. Save for the necessities of life. Withhold luxury expenses at individual level and at business level as well. So all investments expansion are on hold as of now. And this has encompassed all individuals, all businesses, all countries. Just an hour back, I was reading SBI's research that Indian economy may contract means come down by 40% in the first quarter of this year, April to June 2020, 40%. 90% of this decline will come from red and orange zones. Imagine an economy of size and scale of India, the fifth biggest economy of the world. If it were to contract, come down by 40%, it's a very serious state of affairs, isn't it? And on a full year, even optimists are projecting a negative growth of 5 to 10%. Earlier, we used to think that Indian economy is immune to these global problems, but it is not the case anymore. If the world sneezes, India also catches cold. Indian economy is not as much immune today as it used to be 10, 15, 20 years back. So the issues are serious, the condition is serious, but what do we do? Adversities create challenges, yes, but adversities create opportunities too. The question is, are we ready for these opportunities? Let us examine some opportunities and challenges that are there aligned to these opportunities. For big businesses, the adversities are not as much. They have economies of scale, they have deep pockets, they can survive this calamity. You would be reading business newspapers, you would know that in last 1 month or so, Mr. Mukesh Ambani has got $10 billion worth of investments in his companies. $10 billion is no mean achievement. Earlier, about 20 years back, our annual target for FDI was $10 billion. And now only one company has got this much investment in last 1 or 2 months, $10 billion. Because they are blue chip companies, market thinks they are immune, they are continuing to do well, they will not be hit as hard by this calamity as smaller ones. So these companies will, even my wealth managers are telling me to take money out of mutual funds which invest in small and mid caps and invest in blue chips mutual funds. So businesses will always attract investment. Number two, big businesses will also have enough money to invest in other ventures. For them, this M&A window has not closed. In fact, this may be a good time for big businesses for cherry picking. Mid-size or small-size businesses may be up for sale. at a fraction of the valuation. We'll come to the valuation bit a bit later. So for big businesses, this tragedy also offers opportunities. They are attractive investments in themselves and they can invest in other companies. So this is about big business. Mid-sized business, they are facing the brunt of this COVID-19 much more, I would say, seriously. Their businesses have been locked down, payments have been stuck, liquidity issues are there, and a lot of them will perish if they cannot retrieve themselves in a month or two. So they need to collaborate, or they need investments boost, liquidity boost. This boost can come either from banks in terms of loans or by way of investments. Getting loans again, it may not be very convenient for them. This will disturb their debt equity ratio. Some of them may be over leveraged already. So M&A opportunities would be there in mid-sized business also. These mid-sized businesses would be very receptive to investments. Startups, I think, are the worst hits along with sole business owners. Smaller your business size, the harder you are hit by COVID-19. So startups are also in doldrums. They can also do well with investments.
So, sorry to interrupt. I think we had some issue with
Yes.
Zoom. The session might just terminate. I think we'll have to re-log in using the same login ID.
No worries. Even
Same login ID, same
I'm
password.
seeing less than 1 minute.
Yes, yes, sir.
Sure. So let's take a break, re-log in in a minute or so, and then
Yes, sir.
restart.
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Thank you.